Your stakeholder landscape map will really help you to understand your context. This is the visual we've provided you with, and just by the way, you can move these circles around if you want to on the template that you have. Now the first thing that we want you to do is actually create a list of all of your stakeholders. Just write down as many as you can possibly think of. You can always add them as you go. So the first stage is simply to identify who they are. There's no analysis to begin with, and we strongly encourage you that once you start putting them onto your stakeholder map, you leave yourself or your team off that. We don't want you to start building the map around you. We just want to see the overall context, and do make sure, however, that you put yourselves on there. So we've started off with lists. You can see that I've blocked out this example. It's a sensitive one, but you can see that as they've added someone or something or an entity onto their stakeholder map, they've actually crossed it off. Now here are some completed examples for you. So these folks have been busy, they've actually plotted these out, and then they've started to make some analysis. So you can see that there are lines here creating groups. You can see some dotted lines from one stakeholder to another. This is another interesting one, some critical elements in this particular stakeholder landscape, some relationships among senior people, and what's fascinating about that one is that in some way the most senior person in this group actually is outside the particular loop that this service design group is actually focusing on. Now, I've put together a whole series of them here just to give you a couple of different ideas of how people go about it. I think this one is particularly useful and interesting. So this individual has moved the circles around, and then they've actually created what I might call a salience heuristic. So they've created some other visuals that tell a story in and of itself. So they've almost turned this into a three-dimensional image. They put colors that have particular meanings to them. They've actually created a little crown around this individual or group here. So really thoughtful and really useful. There are so many things that you can do with this. This individual has used post-it notes to actually, so that they can actually move things around. And then there's clearly some kind of measurement model here with red, yellow, blue circles that indicate meaning in that particular situation. Now, once you get to this point, you can then take critical stakeholders off that map and start creating empathy maps from what you've learned. And you can also then start putting together a whole series of empathy maps from the various different groups of stakeholders, because we know that there are interactions amongst these, so really quite critical